Just check, are you thinking of actually introducing vaccine passports for people to travel on Greater London Transport, or to have a valid PCR test, say, within 7 days or something? Because I'm concerned about the rise in the COVID levels now, infections.
Well, let's be quite clear. The difference the vaccine makes is huge. It weakens the link between the virus and serious illness. It can reduce hospitalisation by around 90%. That's the good news. I'm not in favour of having vaccine passports within London for TfL. It'd be just a bureaucratic nightmare. I'll give you an example, Matthew. Before the pandemic, we had, roughly speaking, 5 million journeys in our buses, 4 million on our tubes. It's around 70% now on buses, about 45% on the tubes. It simply would be almost impossible for us to get it working without having massive queues leading to big problems. What I'm in favour of is as many Londoners as possible receiving not just one jabs, but both. And the good news, Matthew, is we now have more than 10 million doses administered in London. And the really good news is those above the age of 40, 80% have had both doses. So we've got to encourage the vaccine take-up, but I think it's not realistic to expect us to have vaccine passports within London.
So in an ideal universe, it might be quite a nice idea, but logistically it's the cost-benefit ratio. What sort of equipment or personnel would you have to introduce at every point of egress and ingress to check people's documents or phones?
Yeah, and correct. And there's an additional issue about how do you avoid fraud, an additional issue about those who are exempt, and those who maybe have had one jab, Matthew, because they're 18, 19, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and are waiting for their second jab, and you're depriving them of a service, even though they've taken precautions, they're not positive, they're wearing a face mask and so forth.